Hey, it's Alan Burnett from YourWeddingHub.com. Welcome back to part 2 on tent rentals for your wedding day. We've got Dan from A&B Party Event Rentals, who we're in the tent bay here in their warehouse. A lot of stuff happens here. Dan, when you're doing tenting for a wedding, are the tents staked? How do you hold them down?
There's multiple ways, Alan. I've learned in my lengthy experience in setting up tents.
Okay.
We're now very good at it.
You got any horror stories?
I've got a horror story or two. I definitely have. There's three ways. Can I tell you?
Sure.
Okay, I'll tell you this one quick. I did set up a tent for a friend of mine. We did an Arabian Nights theme party in his backyard. It could have been a wedding, whatnot. And it was the first year, many years ago, when we set up a tent.
So you were just getting into tenting?
Just getting into it, and you know, there's a little trial and error in something that's just so big.
Yep.
But we staked the tent, and with 2-foot iron spikes. In a backyard, the tent was fully walled, there was lights in it, and it was a night in particular in Vancouver where there was 100-kilometer-an-hour plus winds.
Wow.
And I get a call 3 o'clock in the morning from my friend, and he
said, not the kind of call you want to get.
Not the kind of call I want, you know, 13 missed calls. I'm like, what's this all about? The tent was no longer in the backyard, Alan. The tent had left the backyard. And to tell you the truth, we never found the spikes that we originally
2-foot
spiked.
Spikes, did you
2-foot iron spikes.
And they disappeared?
They disappeared.
Wow.
So
where did the tent end up?
It ended up...
It's okay, we can tell a story. You were just learning
I was just learning the business. The tent ended up upside down on top of his home and wedged itself between his next door neighbors and his home. It was crazy. It was something that has made me learn an incredible amount about the safety of tents and what you should and shouldn't do. It's a horrible story we can all laugh at now.
Yeah.
But as far as tents go, the main thing is to weight them down.
Okay, and what kind of weights do you use to hold a tent down?
Well, we use, it all depends on where it is. You know, we'll use 250-pound blocks, which are cement concrete blocks. We'll usually use 2 per leg. So it's about
500 pounds
500
each?
per leg for each corner of that tent.
Yep.
I'm a little obsessive about it now,
I can
as
see
you
why.
can imagine.
Sure.
We can also use stakes in a very well-protected area, as long as there's no underground sprinklers. And we also can sandbag a tent.
Okay.
If it's going somewhere, once again, very well protected, we can use sandbags. Sandbags, they're a little ugly, very unaesthetic. The concrete blocks are the best way, and I do provide beautiful white covers to cover the concrete block, just so it doesn't look so ugly.
And so for you now, you generally use those concrete blocks to
almost
weight the tent down.
90% of the time.
Wow. And what are some of the key things? I know we're running out of time here, but Dan, what are some of the key things that a bride and groom need to think about when it comes to tent rentals for their wedding day?
I think that what they need to consider is the cost of tents. Tents are not cheap. Tents need to be walled, they need to be heated, they need to be lit, and as well as the correct amount of space for your guests underneath that tent.
Okay. And is there a formula that people need to think about?
At abpartytime.com there is.
Hey, good. So they can go there and check out how many square feet. And what kind of different sizes do tents come in? Is it just...
Oh gosh, anywhere from 100 square feet. I carry anything from 100 square feet right up to about 1,800 square foot tents.
Wow, that's
single
big
tents.
tent.
Yeah, walkway tents as well. Maybe a walkway tent from the venue, from the curb to the venue, so that your guests don't get wet. That's another very popular tent these days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was that website again?
abpartytime.com.
abpartytime.com, and it's not going to be hard for them to find where the information on tents
I hope not.
is. And,
I've been trying to make it clear as possible.
Okay, good. So brides, grooms, go there and check out some of the formulas that you want to be thinking about, some of the different, and it'll give you some ideas on sizes and whatnot. But I think, with the funny story that Dan started with, what it tells you, and I can tell you, here in our local market, Dan really is one of the experts in tent rentals. That's the key. If you're thinking of renting a tent, we don't care where you are. You need to find somebody that's an expert, that's been around, they've dealt with all the different conditions and dynamics that you're going to have to be dealing with. that their equipment is good. Those are some of the keys. Brides, grooms, we're just here to help you out because we don't want you having your tent disappear in the middle of your wedding. So,
No.
so thank you for being with us. Dan, thanks again.
Alan,
It's a pleasure.
it's a pleasure.
You're going to be a regular here, I got to tell you.
I hope
because
so.
I just like your spirit and the fact you're passionate about what you do. That's the key to the yourweddinghub.com. It's just finding people that are passionate. So
Thank you.
come on back to yourweddinghub.com tomorrow, and we look forward to many more times with Dan because we have just scratched the surface when it comes to rentals on your wedding day. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.